I've never seen the X-Men animated series from the 90s because I wasn't born until 2004. How silly of me. So I thought it would be fun to watch the sequel show without indulging in the original. It sounds dumb, yeah, because it is, but I can give the point of view of those who haven't seen the original show. Since each episode came out weekly, I'm going to review them one at a time, because they should probably all stand on their own, right? Episode 1. Laser Go. While I haven't seen the original show, I have seen all the X-Men movies, so I'm a little bit familiar with some of the characters in the show. And I will say, in this first episode alone, most of the X-Men are shown off really well. They introduce everyone in a way that doesn't feel forced or out of place, and they seem really powerful. I didn't know Charles bit the big one, so I was genuinely surprised by that. They're even doing team attacks, which the movies would never even dare to try. The characters have so much personality, but most of all, Scott. I thought it was really lame in what I had seen of him, but this one episode completely changed how I viewed him. He's just really cool. There are some moments and characters that made me feel like I should have watched the original show, but that was to be expected. By the way, I really like Magneto, so I was happy that he was here early on. The animation and art style are really striking and really unique. This episode just did a good job hooking me. Episode 2. Magnet Man gone done did a court. Oh my god. Magneto is really cool. He has literally stolen the show. I already liked the character with his motives of trying to overthrow humanity after being oppressed by them. But now he's generally trying to live up to Charles's wishes by turning good. This might be just one big long scheme, but as far as I know, he's good now. His speech to the judges was so powerful, and I love how his powers look. I thought Rogue's powers were just a really deadly touch because that's what the movies seem like, but nope. She can absorb anything out of a person. And apparently her and Magneto had a thing, and still maybe do? Having Storm lose her powers was a neat way to put some focus on her. I hope Logan and Gambit get some focus later on, because those are some characters I'm interested in exploring. But where was Jubilee here? I swear she was not even in this episode. Episode 3. Wait, you aren't my wife. Poor Scott. First he finds out his wife is a clone, then she turns evil, then she steals his baby, then they send his baby to the future to cure some techno virus. That probably sound like nonsense, but that's the plot of this episode. The baby mama to Scott's kid was a clone of the real Jean Grey. She was created by this fella and turns evil. The real Jean has a mind fight with the imposter and she's freed of the bad man's control. Then she dips. Also, Bishop went back to the future. I had no attachment to him, so I didn't really care. It was sad seeing Scott so devastated that he had to send Nathan away. But that's character development, baby! Woo! Poor choice of words. And again, where is Jubilee? She was just there for a bit at the start, but never again. This episode was definitely following up a plot from the original show, but there was enough information given where newcomers like me can understand what's going on, which is good. Episode 4. Yahoo! Finally, an episode with Jubilee in it, and it's a video game episode. Yay. But that's only half the episode. The other half has Storm and Forge trying to get her powers back. I didn't really like this episode much. I think I'm starting to dislike video game plots in shows because they're just played out by this point. Plus, the theme of Jubilee accepting growing up is just there. She says she wants to stay young forever, then she just stops feeling that way. And the stuff with Storm is kind of interesting, but I feel nothing after watching it. That sums up how I feel. Nothing. Episode 5. Holy shit, they did a 9/11! This is my favorite episode so far. Completely ignoring the last episode, we explore Genosha, a place where mutants can live freely. This is a really sick idea, and getting to explore it really piqued my interest. We also get a resolution to the Magneto, Rogue, and Gambit love triangle, which is done pretty well, I thought. Magneto is elected Chancellor of Genosha, and everything's happy and cool until a super mega sentinel shows up and literally murders most of the nation. Yeah, the tonal shift almost gave me whiplash as everyone starts to desperately panic. Gambit and Magneto both die! Magneto has such a good death too, trying to save mutants, but Gambit was definitely the coolest by blowing up the big terrorist. Rogue went from having 2 boyfriends to none. The other characters are still in this episode, but the Genosha stuff is way cooler. Oh, and Jean's leading Logan along. Episode 6. Aren't you meant to be dead and have broken legs? First off, Charles is alive and just vibing in space. Yeah, he's trying to work out this peace stuff, but what's happening with the X-Men? We are back with Storm, who is still fighting off this demon. Yeah, it's just a straight up demon. But after some soul searching, she gets her powers back and has a good fly, which is a really good scene. We also find out that Sinister was behind the nation-ending Sentinel. He's the guy who cloned Jean. Seeing Charles do his thing was great, but I really wanted to see the aftermath of the Genosha incident. Episode 7. Let's play Frisbee, sugar. Yo, Yo, Captain America! This episode, Rogue is pissed and goes on a tirade looking for the person she thinks built the death machine. Obviously, we know that Trask is working for Sinister, but Sinister is working for someone else. This barber, who also has Magneto still alive. Hooray! The X-Men also help those in Genosha clean up. It's another pretty solid episode, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned it yet, but the action is great, aided by the animation. The fight with Sentinel Trask at the end was sick, and a character I know shows up. Cable, who turns out to be Scott and Jean's clone's baby from the future. Yay, time travel. Episode 8. Spider-Man! The first episode of the 3-part finale. And you think this would feel really incomplete, but no, there's a solid beginning, middle, and end to this episode. The mastermind behind everything is revealed to be this guy, Bastion. He activates all the human sentinels and starts rounding up the mutants, with everyone trying their best to stop them. These human sentinels are imposing villains and live up to the ultimate mutant killer. Magneto is the one that shuts them all down, however, showing that he's still the coolest character in the show. Oh, there's also been this subplot with the kid from the first episode, coming out as a mutant to others, but it feels a little rushed and lackluster. I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. There's also a cameo of the 90s Spider-Man, hell yeah! I've actually seen that show, so this was cool. If he shows up again, which I hope he does, and gets an action scene, that'll go crazy. Episode 9. Shut up, Baldy! Since Magneto's big blast of magnetic energy, he shut down everything in the planet, even the planet itself, so it's not rotating. So the X-Men need to stop him. Their plan is set in motion. The team splits into two. One goes after Bastion, and the other goes after Magneto, who's returned to his villain status. There was a lot more moments that had my jaw drop. Rogue and Roberto joining Magneto's side. Cable also has a mutant power. Wolverine stabbing Magneto, and in return, Magneto ripping out Logan's metal skeleton. A lot of just great moments. And when the credits started to roll, I eagerly wanted to see the final episode. Scott even references a joke from the first X-Men movie.
Am I going to war or a circus?
What'd you expect? Black leather?
Episode 10. Hey, I know him. The fight against Bastion continues, and our favourite characters have found themselves outmatched. I think this was a pretty good overall ending to the season, and there will definitely be a second one, because there was a cliffhanger. But I think Bastion was defeated a little too easily, if he was defeated at all. They fight him for a bit, try to convince him to join, and then he flies into this explosion, and that's it. There was so much hype for this villain, and there he goes. I don't know, but a good part was all the cameos we got from other characters. These were all fun, and they show us Peter Parker again. Charles and Eric's conversation in their minds was cute, and Charles doesn't sit around. He gets shit done. Look at him crawl. Having the team be sent to different points in time is so unexpected. Like, where did that come from? Yeah, I don't really know where I stand on this episode because it was all great, but feels a little quick for an ending. I guess I just have to wait till season 2.
Oh dear.
To sum it up, you can enjoy the show if you haven't seen the original, if you know some of the characters. But for those who don't, good fucking luck. Also, Spider-Man didn't really show up again. Yeah, he was in the last episode, but that was Peter Parker. Where's Spider-Man, damn it? I'm sorry, Baby Yoda.